Yo guys, it's JD here, back again with another video. Now, we are on episode 5 of Dragon Ball Daima. It actually went by pretty quick, I want to say. We left off exactly where episode 4 was, which is where Pansy finds the group after the battle with the Gendarmerie, or I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And so she's just kind of intrigued by Goku's strength. She wants to know why he's so strong. Goku, of course, just responds that he just trains, which surprises her. Now, this kind of tells us a couple things. I mean, it's not a super big surprise, but because Goku and his friends, or at least Goku and Shen, are technically outsiders at this point, this does remind us of the fact that a lot of these characters that happen to be really strong, whether they be Majins or sorcerers or whatever, they don't train, right? They don't do the Earthling martial arts, the Buddhist Taoist tenets that we've seen ever since early Dragon Ball. They don't do that. And so, I mean, this will be important, of course, as we get closer and closer to the climax of the series. But Goku responding with the fact that he just trains, it does remind me of Moro and how he was really strong. I mean, he's really versatile as a fighter, but it was mainly because of his magic. Because even when he was down, he could just use his magic to do an area of effect drain, which couldn't be stopped. So, with knowledge that we have in Daima, it's not surprising that Moro is probably a demon or a Majin. I mean, he's got the blue skin, pointy ears, he's got the magic vibe. Plus, in this episode, we know that Majins have lifespans of about 1,000 years or so, maybe more. So it adds more credence to the theory. Now, the point of the episode really is just to reach the Kingdom of the Third Realm. This is the group or agent that requested Glorio and services from Goku to, I guess, usurp King Koma. Or at least that's what we're told. Throughout this journey to the location, we do learn a few things from Pansy. Firstly, she reveals that Majins can do at least one magic technique. And so she shows off some kind of type of force or rock telekinesis. Now, this isn't exactly the best example of magic, since Frieza could do this with his ki. He could manipulate rocks and debris, of course. Of course, when Saiyans power up, you're already seeing the rocks levitating. So, not exactly the best example of magic. And this is kind of one of the criticisms of the Buu saga and characters that have like this magic undertone, because it's never used in such a way that makes it distinctive from ki. Moro was the closest. I mean, not even really just Moro. I mean, obviously Majin Buu turning people into candy or cookies, or absorbing them, or that intangible ability. A little bit better. I mean, Moro's magic was unique because you couldn't stop it really, but we don't really see it being used in a very clever way. So hopefully, with the setup of all this magic and all this qualifiers for what is a Majin, hopefully we see a threat or a villain later in the series that really does kind of twist Goku and his friends, like in terms of that whole dichotomy between brute strength versus techniques, right? In this case, I guess magic utilization. So hopefully we see that. We've seen a little bit of that with Boo and Moro and Babidi and even Deborah, but we haven't seen it used to its full extent, where it's almost like a god threat. So hopefully in this series, or at least the setup, they do show that. Pansy does say that her magic is pretty much underdeveloped, kind of like Monaito from the Granola arc. She reveals that she's skilled with machine tinkering, which basically confirms she is the Bulma of the Demon Realm. When they're traveling, there is pretty much a fork in the road, fork in the path. One's rocky, one isn't. Kind of a classic, journey JRPG kind of thing. And so Pansy suggests traveling the least traveled path, I guess, the rocky one. And so they go that way. We get little montages of the journey, some of the stuff we've seen, I think, in the opening, or at least in some of the trailers. But it's very JRPG, that's the whole point. Eventually they do arrive at Kadan Castle, I think it's called, or Kadan Castle. Very Elden Ring, very, it's just like any kind of RPG or JRPG that you may have played. Big tower in the middle of like the area boss, or the area, the main area. So Gloria does describe this king as kind of like some kind of uncivilized mafia boss, at least based off my translations. But Pansy suggests that he's actually more human, he's more gentle, and he only steals from criminals or just kills bad people. So, I mean, the reason why they're doing this is, I mean, they're just setting up the fact that she knows him personally, and eventually it's going to be revealed that she actually does know him very, very, very personally. I'll kind of save that later. But, this whole um, characterization of Pansy and King Kadan is what he's called. It is essentially just a remix of Chi-Chi and the Ox King from early Dragon Ball, which of course is a reference to Journey to the West. They even joke with the marriage that stuff that jokes Toriyama that he does a lot. Um, Goku does say that he's married and already has children, so that is kind of funny since he's literally a child and they think it's like his race is just perpetually young or something. This also reminds me of Vegeta's brother Tarbell with his little alien wife. That it got the same kind of reaction from the rest of the cast. We do get a transition to the villains though and what they're doing. Dende is being treated pretty nicely, I would say. He's in a baby crib, and he's being read lullaby stories from some kind of demon nanny. Goma walks in, tells the caregiver to kind of take it more seriously, put more energy into the lullabies. Since they need Dende, and this is where it's revealed that they're going to use Dende to make new Dragon Balls, which is interesting because Dende's practically an infant. He does have his mind because we know all the other characters like Goten and Trunks, they have their mental faculties, they just can't speak. It's like kind of telepathic. But I mean, if they're gonna use him to make Dragon Balls, I don't know how they're gonna do that if he's still a baby. So I mean, it's a question of like how soon does he need him? Is he gonna use like some kind of magic to accelerate his aging? We don't know, but it may become a plot point later in the story once Goma finds out that they're collecting the Demon Realm Dragon Balls and maybe they succeed. So that maybe that's when it's gonna come up. It also appears that Goma doesn't know of Goku's runabout with the Gendarmerie, which is the Demon Realm police or force. So it'll be interesting to see what they do once they know that. Now back to King Kadan and Goku's company. They are at the gates of the castle. This is where Pansy pretty much reveals that she's the daughter of the king. We get some of the castle spaces, very feudalistic. There's a lot of like agricultural farming, very tenant based. So it's interesting to see the kind of characterization that Toei and Toriyama are giving us. There's a little trading ring, which of course already tells us that there's gonna be some kind of fight. Before that though, we do get a meeting with King Kadan. Now this is the character who was one of the characters in trailer 2, where you get to see like Super Saiyan Goku and all that. That character, a lot of people were theorizing was like a baby Tuffle or Dr. Mew kind of character. I think Geekdom was one of the ones I was thinking that. Thankfully, it's not any of that. It is a new character, just a Demon King, but it is a callback to Ox King, of course, from Dragon Ball. We do find out that the details between Glorio and Kadan as to the reason for wanting Goku to join the Demon Realm are very different, which causes Shen to further suspect that Glorio is playing another game, which most of the fandom already knows. However, they still need to continue their journey. So before they can kind of wrestle with that, they just have to put it, in the back of their mind for now. But before they get a new plane from King Kadan, he wants to see a demonstration of Goku's powers. And so we get this cool sequence with Goku fighting the Kadan militia. Now, Goku doesn't use his Niobo. It's just kind of a pure training session, so no killing. But he does fight them pretty effortlessly. This makes perfect sense. I mean, Goku and Base at this point would easily take out these kinds of fighters, especially if they're not trained or can use their magic properly. Goku does get his arms caught because of his size, and this is where he finally transforms. So this is like the biggest moment of the episode, is seeing Super Saiyan Goku. Seems like Goku has a feel for the atmosphere, the pressure, and his balance and size, so that's good. Hopefully we see Super Saiyan a lot more casually now, and maybe Super Saiyan 2 and 3. But this pretty much overwhelms the whole group. He then fights with that like yellow aura around his body, which I think is just the Saiyan power, is what they call it, the Saiyan power effect. This is the same thing from the Broly movie where Vegeta was fighting him. So very good art, very good animation, no problems with the art or the animation direction. After that scene, we do get pretty much the final part of the episode. They are pretty much packing the ship with supplies for the departure. This is where Shen would ask King Kadan about they don't have a pen because Shin wasn't able to use his telepathy to tell Kibito of the passcode that they need to get through Warp Sama. So again, this is the group that's Kibito, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma. Kadan explains that he can't do anything if they don't have a pen, so they're going to basically have one of his men collect them with a refurbished ship and a pen. I guess they have to like clean or reset the pen each time. So they're going to do that, and this is the character that's revealed to be Hispis or Hibiscus. Now this is a character Geekdom first teased on one of his big videos before Daima started, so shout outs to him, he was definitely right. This character is very Toriyama-like, I mean, especially in the design. His voice is kind of hilarious. He's doing some kind of ballerina stuff, so he's got some kind of dance characterization. I guess he likes dancing. Now he's able to find Goku's friends using some kind of Dragon Ball radar or Demon radar. It's like a transponder device, but it is pretty cool. I saw this in the opening, or not the opening, the ending. It's like in the ending song, you see Pansy having the same device. I thought it was going to be a Dragon Ball radar, but then I realized it doesn't make sense to have one if they already know where the Dragon Balls are. So it's probably just like to see where the castle is of each realm, or maybe just to find certain signatures, like key signatures. I'm not too sure, but that is an interesting device, and maybe it'll come into play later. As they prepare to leave, though, Shen, this is where he kind of tells Goku to be careful around Glorio, since his story doesn't line up with what King Kadan said. Goku suggests it doesn't really matter, which is, of course, the Goku response. I mean, he's always going to try to assume good intentions, regardless of what other characters say, so this is good. This is a good characterization, and nothing that's falling flat here. As they leave, though, this is where Pansy reveals she wants to join. King Kadan isn't sure, but Goku ensures that he'll protect her if anything happens. So they do leave. They do assemble and leave, and Goku inquires about how long it's going to take to get to the third Demon Realm Tamagama, which is the 3-star ball. It looks like it'll be about 4 days to arrive. Goku is, of course, excited, but doesn't want to have to wait. But they said it won't, be that bad. And as they're en route, that's when the ship breaks down. So it starts to break down because, one, it's a crappy ship, and two, all the extra supplies that Pansy packed. So it does come crashing down, ending the episode. Overall, I thought the episode was okay. Felt very, very, very fast paced. It did move some stuff along in terms of the main plot, but I still feel like we have ways to go before we really get into the big threats and villains. We do get to meet again the king of the third demon realm. Pretty cool character. They continue to tease about Glorio's motives, or whether he's a villain or will he'll betray them. I don't think he will. I think he's gonna definitely fight our heroes. He might even do like a big twist at the end where he tries to betray them, but I don't think it's going to be out of like bad intentions. I mean, he could be being led astray, and obviously because of his adventuring with Goku and Goku just being Goku, I'm sure it's going to have an effect on him. So even if he does turn a new leaf, or does something that's malignant or bad, I'm sure it's going to have an effect where he regrets his decisions or helps the cast near the final phases of the arc. So I mean, that's what I think. Maybe others do as well. Based off the next episode previews, it does look like Glorio and Goku do spar. I mean, Goku's fighting with one hand behind his back, so that's gives us an idea that Goku's probably much stronger than Glorio. We do get some kind of tease of some kind of boss near the end of the episode. I guess it's gonna be like another Ox boss, or like a blue demon thing. So we'll see that. I think it was in the trailer too. So hopefully Goku does transform. Maybe we could see a Kamehameha. So excited about that. I'm also excited for the first battle with the Tamagami. I think it's going to be pretty intense. I think someone made a scaling video. I think it was MJ that made a scaling video. So definitely check that out. But I mean, these guardians have to be pretty powerful. I mean, if nobody in the Demon Realm has ever been able to obtain the Dragon Balls, not even Deborah. So very interested to see how Goku, because I think it's just going to be Goku. I mean, it might be Goku, Vegeta, and Bulma and Piccolo that make it, but I think for the first Tamagami, I think it's going to just be Goku. And you see that in the trailer. I have a theory video coming out. I might put it out today or tomorrow, but I'm excited to see that fight, excited to see kind of what happens. And ultimately, I'm just excited to kind of continue to cover Daima. I'm very much enjoyed and enjoying all of this. And more videos to come. I am working on the fusions video on what this new fusion is going to be like and what characters will be involved. I just need more time on that. But I will see you guys next week with episode 5 and another theory video. So I'll see you guys next week. This is JD signing out.